Alaikum. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever in the world you are. Welcome to The Other Side with Fariha and Talat. Yet another episode. Gosh, Fariha, we started back in January, right? And we're into September, almost October now. So it will have been almost 10 months since The Other Side had birth. So we're coming up to her first birthday, right?
Excellent, yes. And how many professions? But I'm really happy. We've covered like almost all professions and so many topics and so many more to go.
Yes, absolutely. And we've had so many, requests for many other professions and things. And there's lots of exciting stuff that you and I are planning that, we'll keep a secret now because otherwise it'll be giving away too much. But I think there's a lot in store for people who are really interested in furthering their careers and talking about the next move or whatever it is. So stay tuned. But today our topic is very, very important. हमारे ज़माने में जब when I was growing up, at least I know all the guys and the girls around me, unless like a typical Desi parent, your kid wasn't an engineer or a lawyer or a doctor, life was over for them. Okay, so it's a very, very different time now where there's so many other options, but one thing never changes and will never change, and that is the magic of the healthcare profession and what it brings with it. There are many different reasons that people go into medicine. There are many different fields of medicine, from research to to be a veterinarian or a pharmacist or a nurse, or just get into general surgery, ENT, pediatrics, whatever you want to call it, lots of different areas. But one thing never changes. There are some good reasons why people become doctors, okay? And I think when I was reading up on this, I think obviously one of the big reasons why they take that Hippocratic oath is to help the suffering. And I just think, sometimes they feel like they're playing God. I mean, imagine somebody's come to you, you're working on them, you've got a surgery, and you actually saved that life. It's the most incredible feeling that you've actually impacted a life and a family in such a deep and impactful way. So I think we should never move away from the fact that whatever experiences we've had with different doctors, some great experiences, some not so great, I think the core is always, we must always remember, is that they're in this to alleviate and to ease suffering. And the other thing is that, there's a big gap now when it comes to healthcare professionals in the world. And they're saying in developing countries, by 2030, there will be a need for at least 14.5 million more healthcare professionals. So that's, so it's a huge area out there. It's growing, it'll continue to grow. But it's a very, very noble profession, and none other better than to talk about the connection between this and COVID than Fariha, who I know has been looking this up a lot. So over to you.
So Talat, again, so I think as a profession, it's a great profession. हम सबको ज़रूरत पड़ती है, और when we need good doctors, I think we all know the feeling. And COVID has really put a lot of stress, on healthcare professionals, on us as individuals, because Pakistan mein, as we know, it's a developing country, it's an emerging market. The registered doctors 2.5 lakh hai. I think as a country, we've managed COVID pretty well, in the sense that vaccines se leke, and but of course there've been shortages of ventilators, there've been shortages of bed. But even right now, I think we've got some. अगर आप एक profession देखें जिसने बड़े export किया है talent, is actually doctor community. We've produced some fantastic doctors, and they are now practicing in the developed world. But यहाँ पे भी आपको, the guest, a very special guest who we'll be introducing shortly, an average waiting time is about 1 hour, 1.5 hours, and people wait because he's so good. And अभी government ने सेहत कार्ड launch किया है, कई ऐसे initiatives हैं, हमारी life expectancy थोड़ी बढ़ी है. Again, it's on the lower side within the region, but we are about 69. So I think things have been done. But एक चीज मैं सोच रही थी Talat, and it pertains to COVID, but outside COVID also, because of our infant mortality rate and other sort of we are probably one of the few countries now left, including other developing countries, जहाँ ये cancer, diabetes, heart patients ये बहुत है, but इसमें lifestyle choices भी है. So I think the awareness, there are two sides to it. Of course, we understand there are limited healthcare professionals, and we're going to talk to the professor or doctor who will be joining us shortly. Okay, what does it take to be a great doctor? But also, I think there's a responsibility that lies on adopting a healthier lifestyle, which, in the West, there's a lot of education and awareness.
Let me ask you, Fariha, that if you were to go back in time and think about, and very quickly, who's the first doctor that comes to your mind when you think about the most positive experience with a healthcare professional? Okay, and if you can think of that person, what is it about them that you remember? Apart from the fact that they cured you or didn't or whatever.
So it's actually our neighbor. हम उनको डॉक्टर अंकल बोलते थे, and remember we used to live in far apartments, so हमारे नीचे रहते थे. And why? Because as kids आप बीमार होते थे, अपार्टमेंट में रहते थे, और डॉक्टर अंकल बेचारे सुबह की क्लिनिक करके आते थे, शाम की क्लिनिक पे, तो बीच में जो उनका 2 घंटे का रेस्ट होता था, us included, बेल बजाते थे and डॉक्टर अंकल would see us. So you're right, जो आपने बात की थी, the noble profession. I think all these doctors, and I know so many around me as well, they are really dedicated. They don't care about their timings, about their personal space.
Exactly, it's very hard.
Do you have any recollection?
Yeah, I have some good experiences, but always it was about warmth and engagement. These are two of the skills that I remember of that particular doctor. It wasn't how good he was in pediatrics or whatever it is. It was how he engaged me and how good his communication skills were, explaining it to me. That is what stays the longest in my mind. And those skills are so important, right?
So, and Talat, एक चीज मुझे इस पर ख्याल है, absolutely one, and again I'm talking about a traditional. I hope things have changed now, but this is about 10-20 years ago. But again, I remember that as well. A doctor, as we know, is a great profession. So, preferred profession both for men and women. But a lot of girls, I remember कि होता था शादी के लिए बहू डॉक्टर चाहिए, but then फिर वो बहू काम नहीं करती. So I think it's such a waste of space and talent and money and resources and everything.
That's so right, Fariha. I'm sure there are like millions of, especially in Desi land, there are millions of women who've accomplished and who've done it, but who are just not practicing because फिर शादी हो गई, बच्चे हो गए, and it is a very demanding thing. The problem with being a doctor is that it is a very demanding profession. Na? कितने घंटे आपको जाना पड़ता है, night duty करनी पड़ती है. So, you have to do your time to get better and better. And that's the only way you kind of get better, by doing more research, by seeing more patients, by seeing a wider range of diseases or whatever. So it's a very, very tough.
Absolutely positive I saw, and I'm sure it was a global trend in any case, but because of COVID and in Pakistan, के बहुत सारी apps इस तरह आ गई. So a lot of women I see on those apps जो कि शायद practice इतनी ज़्यादा नहीं कर पा रही थी because of their limitations. So I think a lot of great things are happening, but one thing I do feel, those who are watching the program, I mean, it is a great profession. I think इसका जो reward है is just not the monetary reward, but there's a lot of internal reward as well. But I mean, women who have studied this and are not doing anything, or you're getting a bahu because it's a prestigious thing and then not letting them practice, I think this should stop. It's 2021.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, हमारी बातें तो चलती रहेंगी. आप बताएं जरा, who's our guest today?
So this is Professor Dr. Tariq Rafi. इनको बल्कि last year सितारे इम्तियाज भी मिला था. And one thing that stand out for him, ENT, again because of pan छालिया, हमारे यहाँ ये बीमारी बड़ी है.
Smoking,
cigarette smoking, shisha. So I think we're gonna ask him. So, and he's been, I think, an examiner. So very sort of prominent figure within the healthcare professional community. And one thing that why people are willing to wait for 1-1.5 घंटा, because he gives you the time. So सिर्फ एक नुस्खा नहीं, बल्कि जो attention और time आपको मिलता है. So I think people just they are queuing up for his time.
Oh, that's fantastic. Really looking forward to this show. So please, ladies and gentlemen, stand by. It's going to be a very, very interesting show, talking all about the medical profession and doctors on the other side with Fariha and Talat.